If you ever feel unqualified for a job, just know that Joe Barry got a prominent position on someone's defense in the year 2024. Welcome everybody to JJ9 News, where we talk all things NFL all the time. I'm Jared Garrett, and I represent the 904 from the 602. And today, we are talking about the breaking news that just came out of Miami. Joe Barry being hired by the Dolphins as the new running game coordinator on the defensive side of the ball. We were wondering how Miami was going to fix their defensive staff now that Vic Fangio is no longer there. He is now the defensive coordinator in Philadelphia. And one of the moves that they're making, Joe Barry with the prominent position, being the run game coordinator for the Miami Dolphins. And I have to ask Miami this. Have they watched a single second of Joe Barry's defense? What are his qualifications whatsoever? Because he has none. He has no qualifications. Let's just get that out of the way. He has no qualifications. This is the worst hire of the entire cycle for any position coach by any NFL team this year. Congratulations, Dolphins. He made the worst hire of the year. So the Packers, they drafted a defensive lineman in round 1 of 2023. They spent 2 first-round picks on front seven guys in 2022 in Wyatt and Walker. So they spent 3 first-round picks in the last 2 years on front seven guys. No team has invested as much in front seven from a draft perspective as Green Bay has over the last 2 seasons. They made some moves in free agency over the last 3 years. You can't say that they haven't tried to upgrade on defense. They added guys in that time frame. And it's been bad all the time in the run game. Yards per carry allowed, never better than 23rd in the league. So it was always in the bottom 10 all 3 years that Joe Barry was the defensive coordinator there. In terms of rushing yards allowed, the team was 28th in rushing yards allowed last year, 26th in 2022. He's been a defensive coordinator for 7 seasons in his career. 2 seasons in Detroit, including that 2008 season where the Lions were winless. 2 seasons in Washington, 3 in Green Bay. Guess how many times have the rushing defense ranked in the bottom 10 of the league in yards per carry? 7. 7 seasons as a defensive coordinator, 7 times it's happened. The highest was 23rd. That's the best it's ever been. How many times was the rushing yards in the bottom 10 of the league? 6 times. 6 freaking times. This is a guy that is perpetually in the bottom 10 of the league in run defense. With Green Bay this past season, the Packers had 4 games in the regular season. Count them, 4 games where they allowed 200 or more rushing yards. That is abysmal. That is by far the most in football. Only one other team, the Seattle Seahawks, even had more than 2 such games, and nearly half the teams didn't have any. And here are Joe Barry's Green Bay Packers with 4 of them. 25% of the time, they allowed over 200 rushing yards in a game. It's insane. His run defense has never been good. He's been a defensive coordinator at 3 different stops for nearly a decade, and never has his run defense been outside the bottom 10 in the major categories. What has he possibly done to merit being a run game coordinator for the Miami Dolphins? What the heck is Mike McDaniel thinking when it comes to this coaching hire? I have no clue whatsoever, but my condolences, Dolphin fans, because this run defense is about to take a massive hit. If it wasn't taking one already and that Fangio is gone, prepare yourself. Prepare yourself, because the resume is really bad. It's the analogy of smelling. If you smell someone and you're like, oh man, they smell bad. You know what? Maybe they do smell bad. But if you smell 20 different people and they all smell bad, you know what? It's probably not that person. It's probably you. Joe Barry's run defense, maybe we could say, okay, last season was a bad year, but he's usually a good defensive coordinator, usually a good mind when it comes to run defense, but everywhere he's been, 7 seasons, never anything outside the bottom 10 of the league. So don't expect anything. This is a bad hire for Miami. I have no idea why they did it. It'll be very interesting to see how it plays out. All I can say is I think Buffalo, New York, and New England are rejoicing at this news that just broke. But what are your thoughts? Do you think this is a good hire by the Dolphins? Do you think Joe Barry should even be in the NFL? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. That's going to do it for this episode of JG9 News. Be sure you like and subscribe. It helps the channel out a lot. And be sure to check out my main channel, JRGarrett9, where we talk all things NFL history all the time. Until next time, this is JRGarrett9 signing off. And as always, go Jags.